We can put this up. Okay, welcome to what are we, May? No, April,
So
nearly
bad, and
Easter.
I get a headache, and the
Hey,
girl
Tim, how are
next to
you?
me, she was gonna get sick off, and I was like, good, how are you, bud?
There. Yeah, good, man. So, in this call, this is more going to be an open forum call. It's just to reconnect with everybody and say good day and see what everyone's up to. Any challenges people are coming across out there in the community, in their sales arena, what we can help you with there. And also what we've been doing that's working, and things like that. So in that case, welcome. I just felt, as I said before the call, would just felt that the community hadn't been quite as connected as it had been in the past. So I thought I'd jump in and do another call and go from there, which is good. So I have got a PDF document which I'll put in the group a bit later, which is a new sort of tele sales script, which is we've had a little bit of success with as well for those who are doing on the phone cold calls. There's a cold call script and a warm call script. We'll share all them with you a little bit later, and we'll put it as a PDF document so people can have access to them. Other than that, my life hasn't changed. I'm just out there pumping the pavement when I can, doing the same thing I've always done, and that's just call on as many businesses as I can. Got my flyers and my coasters and stands, and we keep adding value to those businesses as best we possibly can. So who's struggling out there? Who's one? Firstly, on the call, who's new to Climbo? Who's never been on one of these calls before, on a live call at least? Anyone new? Yeah. And no, everyone's gone quiet. No. Matthew's got his hand up. You got your hand up for a reason, Matt?
That's how I was clapping, saying that I am
Oh,
new.
clapping. Sorry, it looked like a hand up. So is anyone struggling with anything out there at the moment? What are your roadblocks?
I guess I'll be honest with that. I think I'm still on the struggle bus with the with it for right now, but I think it's more the way I'm going about it and kind of the way businesses are over here in the US anyway, or maybe it's just Washington State. It's kind of a weird place. Um, it's
So what?
difficult to get in front of the decision makers.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always the hardest part.
Mhm.
So
But
do you have a
I
call to
went
action flyer you leave with them?
I do. I actually just got away from a lot of them because I changed my business name because originally it was Feral Digital Marketing.
Yep.
And I realized after walking into a few hundred businesses that once they ask who I'm with and I say, Feral Digital Marketing, they hear digital marketer and they already hate my guts.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, there's so much
So,
of that out there. I wake up to 100 spam emails a day going, we've looked at your website. And I'm like, oh, you haven't.
mhm, yeah.
So
So I changed
what have you
everything
changed your name
to
to?
rapid reviews.
Nice. Yep. That
So
makes
now it all
perfect
works
sense.
out. It's Raymond with rapid reviews.
Yep.
Like Raymond reviews. Just I'll be your Google guy, like kind
With
of thing.
the triple R's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so okay, so now you've changed all that. You got your new flyers, you've done all that.
hmm Flyers are in the mail. They should be showing up shortly. So I'm going to start going back over it again.
Okay, so
And I went through and I rewatched some of the sales videos that you had in like the Climbo University and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? It's like I kind of got away from some of the things that Wayne was saying. So now it's time to go back and reconnect with all of them and
So
pen.
one of the powerful things you can do too, like let's say you go into a business and you might have looked at their reviews before and they could be struggling or they might not have hit that 100 review threshold or whatever it might be. And if you can't get on the owner, so I always leave a brochure and go, look, can you make sure the owner gets this? It's really important information. Can I ask you, do you have like Facebook Messenger and stuff? And they go, yeah, yeah. Who looks after that? The owner. Fantastic. I'll message him.
Hmm. Okay, that's good.
Just go, hey, look, by the way, just let you know, I dropped off some important information pertinent to your business about your reviews and how we can actually explode them by up to 47% more. You know, get back to me if you want to have want to have a look at that or look at the information we left your staff.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. Thank
Um,
you.
that's just a great way to, again, rinse and repeat. So So sometimes I'll have a look at a little run sheet. I mean, I did this when I was selling alarms door to door. I would selling alarms domestically door to door. So you get a street directory. Effectively, they give you a map and highlighted streets of a map. They were your streets for the week.
Oh.
You have to door knock every single house. So
Hmm.
I had a run sheet with number 1 to 40. So wherever I start in the street, it's like number 26, Smith Street. Put Smith Street at the top. What's the first name? And I'll just walk through and then write the people's names and numbers down or whatever I was talking to.
Hmm.
I have a similar sort of run sheet for this going. If I've spoken to that business, with what's their level of interest? 1 tick, none. 2 ticks, okay. 3 ticks, golden.
Hmm.
So you can reference back, go, yeah, that was a really interested lead. I'm going to follow him up and message him. Even just write the business name down, find them on Facebook, go from there. Because when you're out talking to 20 businesses a day, you might get to speak to 3 or 4 owners. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, and from that, then you go, okay, well, these are the other ones I spoke to, and out of those 20 businesses, I think 4, another 4 or 5 are good prospects. Yeah, I'm going to email them if they've got an email. I'm going to Facebook message them. Facebook message is very powerful, especially if the business owner's getting it.
Hmm.
Okay, and look, if the business has got a mobile phone, 9 times out of 10, that's going to the owner.
All right.
Nine
So
times out of 10, sorry, say that again.
9 times out of 10, if on any of their listings there's a cell phone number,
Oh, it's the owner's phone,
yeah,
right?
it'll be the owner's number. So to give you an idea of a sneaky text you could do, where am I going? So going to share this one with you. Let me scroll down. This is one we use for FPOS, but it's a very similar for the payment solution, right? But it's a very similar scenario for reviews. It's hey Raymond, it's Wayne from Quick Reviews. Just checking if you'd be open to a quick chat about how to increase your Google reviews by 47%. Okay. No pressure either way, just sort of be worth a look. Would you like me to send you an info pack?
Yeah.
Send you a what?
An information pack. It can just
And
be a
what's the
flyer,
information?
just a flyer. That's effectively a flyer. It's basically what you're offering.
Hmm.
You know, simple stuff like that. Like I did a message out like that yesterday, and I missed, and I kicked myself. It's a current client with our reviews, and I was trying to get the payment gateway to him. And he's, oh shit, Wayne, we just signed up with Square. No, we're not bugger. Said, can I send you some information anyway? So if you're not happy with Square, you can have a look. Yeah, mate, by all means, send me whatever you got. I'd rather deal with you. Right. But I've got the tweaked version of that. I can't find it for the reviews. I'll have to have a look in my notes there. But I'll send you that as well. And it
Okay.
can be a text or a Facebook message. Hey, I'm not even
Yeah.
sure if this is for you or not. So curiosity, this may or may not be for you, a fit for your business. I'm not sure. But, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how important are reviews to you right now?
Hmm.
So, but it's more about that. It's breaking that little pattern of going, I'm not sure if this is for you or not. Not that not rather than being bullet a gate in their face. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a softer in.
Hmm.
This might not even work for you. So
Yeah.
ironically, there's a cafe down the road here. It's called Flume by the River. The wife and I used to go there a while ago before I got into Reputation. We're doing sort of Wi-Fi at the time. Then we got to know the owner pretty well, and then he sold. And I thought, okay, well, thought I'd drop back in there this week and talk reviews or payment gateways or both. I went, hey, Gary, is that you? Didn't you sell? He goes, yeah, the other people who bought it ran it into the ground. So I bought it back cheap and I'm flipping it again. And I showed him the Google case. He goes, mate, I've been looking for these online everywhere. And I said, this is what we do. This is how we do it. This is software. He goes, yeah, set me up. Simple. And look, timing was beautiful because he'd been trying to find the tap to review stuff anyway and couldn't find it. And I've got a screenshot in my phone of a Facebook ad with those Google plates and or stands that sell for like 39, 49, 59 bucks. So I'm like, well, they're normally 59 bucks each. We're going to do you a deal with 10 of them, this and that, and this and that. And they said, just build their value.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but yeah, that's the loop around there, Raymond, is where try to get the business owner's contact information if you can. If not, who manages your Facebook page? The owner. Okay, I might message him directly as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a shot. I appreciate it, Wayne.
Yeah. And I was struggling with anything out there.
When you first started, you said it was 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yep, with a different company.
Okay.
So I started with a
And-
company in
and-
America called Wombot at the time.
But it still did review management, didn't
Yep. Yeah, it's just a different
Same
software.
value proposition.
Yep. So
Okay.
basically, what Wombot started out, I found them online somewhere through some guy's TikTok. I think I found them. They had an affiliate program, and got started with them anyway. It was $200 a month for the platform, and you could have unlimited locations and stuff like that. I know 50 locations it was, and then every 50 you paid another 200. I got to know the owner of that really well, Mike Hall. We started doing Zooms like this. We called it Wombot Wednesday. We started doing that, and then he had some investors come in, and he goes, "Oh, we're going to change the company to Reddit reviews. The investors are coming in, bringing more money in. We can grow it quicker." I'm like, "Be careful." In 3 months, they'd stolen his company from under his feet, and then I went, "I'm out." So that's when I found Climbo. They already knew of me through Wombot, and became a like you guys just became a reseller. Just flipped all my customers from there to here, and then kept doing what I was doing. And so the only media I've done is I did do 3 months of radio ads up here in my local area just to give it a go. Didn't have a lot of hits, but I got one really good customer out of it, and that customer is worth about 14,000 a year. So that was worth the radio ad. So I think I spent 3.5 on radio.
So when you first got started, I mean, how was the first quarter or 2 quarters? I mean, did you get like immediately you got lots of customers very quickly, or how did it look right at the beginning?
The first thing I did is I gave away 3 or 4 locations for free to local
Yeah,
businesses
I've done
I know.
that.
So
Yeah,
I set them
makes
up. So that gave me at least some case studies. Look, Patron Coffee's got our software. This business has got our software. They go, "Oh, okay." So no one wants to be the first.
Right.
So I gave it away. They still got it for free. I get free coffee. They're all happy, right? And then I just kept pounding the pavement, and I changed my script, especially in that first quarter, a lot. It's been, we're talking to business owners about reviews, and I go, yeah, whatever. And then I sort of cottoned on and went, okay, well, firstly, how important are reviews to you on a scale of 1 to 10? And that was just my barometer. Right there too. Okay, so you're not worried about reviews? No, not at all. Mate, here's some information about what we do. And walk away. And if they were 7, 8, 9, I'm like, fantastic. We love working with business owners like you. What I do is I help owners like you get up to 47% more reviews without you changing anything you're currently doing. See, if I could show you a way to get 47% more reviews, would you be open to have a look? Simple. And there's QR code back there.
Okay. So at the end of that first quarter, so you were changing your learning on the job and that sort of thing. Because I'm in my first quarter, so it's kind of, I'm just trying to project and listening to what you're saying and thinking about what am I not doing that Wayne did.
Okay.
And then where were you at the end of that first quarter then?
I think I had, going back a while now, from memory, about 15 to 20 clients.
Okay.
Then it really started to scale.
Yeah. So,
and I found by dropping the brochures off, and I tweaked my brochures over time and my flyers and did all that, got the messaging right. Because remember, when I started, no one had anything. You know, Wombot had some half-assed stuff, and you know, it wasn't very clever. And every market's that little bit different. Like I didn't think I could sell it for $1.99 a month in Australia. Quickly learned that I could. You know, so I was trying, oh no, cafes won't pay that. I still think $1.99 for a cafe owner is a bit too much for a small cafe, not a big one, small one. Because it all comes to, do they collect any data? That's the key. So that's one of the questions we always ask a business is, do you collect any data in any way, shape or form? Like names and emails, names and phone numbers.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So if they do, we can automate the process really easily, right? And if they don't, and this is where QR codes and the NFC technology, all that came into play a bit. Like QR codes were in the beginning. So QR codes everywhere for a cafe. And then the NFC technology came along. We started to play with that a bit more. And that became a big game changer because people go, yeah, oh, that's easy. It's a powerful demo to just go tap on your phone and show them the negative review versus a positive review. So, and I've always been a visual salesman, always my whole life. I've done in-home presentations with flip charts and PowerPoints and all that. Now, I don't do the PowerPoint thing. My demo now is literally one of my coasters. Okay, you got your phone there, tap that, comes up, press one star for me. Okay, now that will go to you and you only. Google won't, no one on Google will ever see that. Now tap it again, press 4 or 5 stars. Okay, now you can see we can go to multi-platform. So not only we can drive your reviews on Google, but also Facebook, TripAdvisor, Yelp, wherever else, not Yelp anymore, but wherever you want. And they go, wow. And you say, look, the upside with that is we give the customer the choice of their favorite platform. And they're like, oh, wow, okay, that's cool. So tell me, based on that, you can see how we can get you up to 47% more reviews, can't you? So tell me, how many tables do you have? 10. So if we can get you how many tables do you have?
Yeah, right.
So 10. So if we get you started with a 10, if we get you started with a 10 pack of these, obviously you can see a massive increase in your reviews pretty quickly, couldn't you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I got my props here as well.
Yep. And
and I agree with you. I think that's the first thing is rather than talking about the software necessarily,
I don't talk about the software.
Talk about how are you collecting reviews, because if you show them immediately that they can, it's much easier to collect reviews, and then it pulls through the.
And I also talk to them about the importance of reviews in the Google algorithm.
Yeah.
So I say, look, Google look at reviews as what we call local chatter or local conversations. So I can ask you, you could look them up, right? Bring up their business and go, so how many people do you think are talking about your business every month?
Yeah.
You can look up and go, okay, you've got 2 reviews in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Now, that's not a lot of people talking about you, is it? So do you think if we get up that to 20 people talking about you, how do you think Google would look at your business then?
Up in 10.
So and that's then you get them talking and thinking about it. So Google look at it as local conversations. So the more people talking about you, so this is not a winner take all scenario in business. It's not who's got the most reviews wins. It's who's got the most consistent reviews wins all the time. Because if you're consistently feeding Google data about you and your business is now relevant in that local search query. Does that make sense? So if we can get you more reviews saying things like best coffee or great latte, so people are searching best coffee near me. If you had consistent reviews, where do you think you'd rank? Do you think if we could get you into that top 3 consistently, that would make an impact on your business?
Do you find it's a bit off point, but one of the things I'm finding is local businesses are having some problems with their Google listing. Do you
Yeah.
find that at all?
Yeah, I fixed their Google listings as well. That's another service we offer. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show
And
them.
how?
I'll show them an optimized listing and a non-optimized listing.
Okay.
So, optimized listing, you've got categories, services, and then mini blogs and lots of pictures.
Mhm.
So, give me a second. I'm going to bring a couple others.
Can you add that to your after the meeting sort of pack? I think you said you're going to put a script in there. You're going to put
Yeah,
that
I'll put a couple other things.
I wasn't actually talking about optimization, although
Yep.
that's really interesting.
Yep.
I was actually talking about Google turning around and switching people off because
Yeah,
they're not
been-
complying with one thing or another.
Yeah, there's been a bit of that. Google last month had a meltdown where it shaved off nearly 50% of everyone's reviews in one hit because it was an algorithm had a hissy fit, if that makes sense. And it was they did an adjustment algorithm to look for spam and scam reviews.
Yeah,
Right? Where you've got people paying for reviews, and the algorithm had a meltdown, and I had clients lose 1,000 reviews overnight. And then they got them back in a couple of days, but yeah, it very much hurt. So what's going on with my internet so slow?
I mean, we got a chat in here somewhere. Yeah, we did. So this was the Google page that talks about what Google considers correct to present your business. And if and there was one of these where it was like, well, okay, so what's the problem? And so we wrote to Google, and then Google said, just sent this again and said, well, you got to comply with this. I said, well, how are we in breach of this? Well, you just got to comply with this.
Yeah,
So,
you
so
don't know.
that,
You
I,
got,
it,
you
I
don't
was
know.
panicking a little bit that
Yeah.
somehow Google was changing something, that maybe the feed from Climbo to the Google profile was somehow being spotted as not as authentic in some way.
Yeah, look, I think Google's hard to deal with on the best of days, right? Very
Right.
hard to deal with. I set up a brand new profile for a client, got it all fully optimized as a tow truck business. Had it up and running for a week. Google flagged it as non-compliant. Back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. I went, you know what? We only got 4 or 5 reviews on it so far. I'm just going to ditch it and start again. Because they don't tell you what they'll say. You're in breach of this. You go to the link. There's nothing about that topic.
Exactly. That's exactly the problem.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can go back to them if you're an admin of the account and raise a ticket and go, well, and I've gone back and won a few times and I've gone, can you clearly state to me, you've stated we're in breach of this particular guideline. Can you show me where in your terms, conditions and or policy this guideline exists? Because I can't seem to find it.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at the moment.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
because I've got, they've gone a bit dark on me currently, but okay. All right. So, but it's not your sense that it's the feed from Climbo
No, God,
talking to
no, not at all. Because the only feed we get from Climbo is if we're doing the reply with AI or reply. That's
right.
the only feed that goes back out to Google.
But there's that exactly. So there's that interim step.
Which Google doesn't
And
see.
then in the end, your point is, in the end, you've got to fill in your review again in Google anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So Google doesn't. So remember, when you hit 4 or 5 stars,
Right.
then you go,
Then
where
you
do
go
you want
thumbs
to go?
up to Google anyway.
Where do you want to go? Google, and that takes you straight to Google. So there's no direct link
That's right.
in with us to Google in that respect. The only integration with Google is using the reply.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't like because I did have like a minor panic about that.
So I'll show you here. So I'm going to show you the different. Let me just move some stuff around here. I hate with Zoom with this. I can't sort of move my bar. Here we go. So this here, this is a Gold Coast Concrete Solutions. 5 stars, 12 reviews, 20 years in business, right? So they've got a review every other year, effectively, right? So you go to the reviews, you can see the newest one, go to newest, 7 months ago. So they did a push there for a while, then nothing.
Yeah.
But if you
I
go
see
to their
that a lot.
overview, so you got some reviews, which is good. They've got some services listed, which is good, and reviews and photos, right? But that's it when you look at that profile, right? There's not a lot there. You go down to All Concept, which is our client, 60 reviews. Scroll down here. You've got products, categories, and then obviously reviews, a bit about the company. Then we've got posts.
Can you go back to categories again? Sorry.
Hone and seal, concrete, same day dry.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
That's an optimized profile. So if we look at Luke's results, now it's been raining a lot here, all that, and that's not good for concreters. So we've changed his messaging a bit. He pays me 328 a month every month. We've changed his messaging a little bit to go, okay, he wants to do more internal, like dry concrete dusting and internal concrete polishing, because he can work in the rain then. So you can see here, March last year, or March this year compared to last year. Business profile interactions up 6.6% compared to last year. Overall search and stuff was down, but that was due to the cyclone we had, the rain, everything like that, right? So people just weren't searching. But however, his calls were down for March. Again, rain. And website clicks are up though. So people are still looking. If we go back to February though, where we had no rain, calls are up 20% the last year. Website clicks are up 87%. Overall, 49%. Search results still down, but his times he got shown was up nearly 10%. And that's what he's coming up in search results. So that's the difference between optimized and a non-optimized profile. And it literally takes an hour or two to optimize it. And I charge him $500 to optimize it. And I use just ChatGPT to write some mini articles. So, but yeah, that's the difference there. But if you got a business owner and you've got their attention, that's when you can have the conversation about how reviews change the algorithm in search.
Yeah.
And every time you get a review with, Eggs Benedict or something like that, so someone's best and a bit Eggs Benedict near me, if you've got 30 reviews saying you've got great Eggs Benedict, you're going to dominate that search. Especially if you've got recent reviews. So it's all about recent reviews. And you start talking to them about that, and you watch their brain start ticking over. You say, so you imagine right now you're averaging 2 reviews a month, right? Now, if I search you right now, because I'm in your store, you'll probably come up pretty high. But if I'm a kilometre or a mile out, where do you think you're going to rank? And if they've got access to their profile, you say, bring up your profile, you look at your hits. And if the hits like that are all down, you go, okay, well, if we can get them up, just by putting these on every single table. Now we can't block.
Is there any way that the owner or the customer can promote particular keywords? Is there a way that you do that?
That's in
Going back to Eggs Benedict.
That's in their categories.
That's in their categories. Okay, so that's in their business profile. But while they're connecting reviews,
not really. Because it's up to the customer to leave the review.
Yeah, of course. I was just wondering whether you had some brilliant idea as to how to do
it. No, not at the moment. No. unless if the point of sale there's a new point of sale we've been looking at here in Australia. It's mainly in Australia, but it might be in America. It's called Tap Touch POS, and it's good for hospitality and retail. But yeah, they've got a front little self-serve counter. You put your mobile in and put your order in, and then you just either dine in or take away. In that case, you could probably get the feedback from the POS, and send them a text going, "How is your eggs, Benny?" You could possibly do that. So, but I'd have to do a full deep dive in on that. But it's more about building that curiosity with the business owner going, "Well, are you busy at the moment?" "Yeah, we're flat out." "Could you do with a few extra customers?" "Yeah, we could." Da, 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 da. So if I can show you a way we can get you more customers without changing anything you're currently doing. And I'll show you how these work in doing that. It's all about the tonality when you're talking to them as well, and creating that little bit of curiosity.
I don't want to hog because I have a lot of questions and I don't want to
Keep
hog it.
flying
So
away.
this is
That's
going to be
the open forum. So
this is going to be my last one. So I have a
make it
customer
a
case
good one,
where
Dominic.
huh?
Make it a good one if it's your last one.
Yeah. So I'll try. This is a customer that sells biscuits
Yep.
online. So they have a manufacturing plant in Turkey.
Yep.
They sell in Germany and in the US.
Yep.
And so what they want to do is they sell through Amazon at the moment, but they want to steal from Amazon and put it on their own online. And they use, I think, Shopify as their e-commerce platform.
Yep. We can connect with
And
Shopify.
so what they want to do is they want to put one of those vouchers in the boxes. And anybody who's bought anything online, when they get the box, it's filled full of this stuff, right?
Yep.
And what they want to do is they want to put one in there with a QR code on it, with a AI review, with a Climbo QR code, and they want to incentivize the person to provide a review. So they need to be able to understand that actually the QR code review came from the voucher.
Okay, I'll show you something different instead.
And then when the order is placed, then maybe they get a discount or they get a free packet biscuits or something.
Okay.
So Shopify should know somehow.
No, I'll show you this. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to blow your mind.
Brilliant. I think it's there because I could see there was a Shopify integration.
Blow your mind.
But I don't know what the hell to do with it after that.
Okay, so let me do this.
Was it a good enough question?
Yep. Okay.
Very good.
So we've got a client here. I'm going to share my screen. Now, a lot of you have been around a while. Have heard me talk about this client. It's a Shopify store. It's called Salty Shreds. They're a clothing store. So all we did, we connected Climbo to Shopify, or Shopify to Climbo, right? So when the order's been purchased or marked as shipped, we have a delay in the trigger. 15 days later, that client gets an email going, "How did we do?" Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when we started with this client, they had 42 reviews.
Wow.
So your point is they don't need to put a voucher in the box. Is that your point?
This client is that lazy. They don't do anything. Like, they don't reply to their reviews. So this is their dashboard. So you can see. So we connected these. So this is when we transferred across from the other platform to Climbo, when we connected them up. It was July 2023. So you can see 271 all the way up to 700. So, and we've blocked 71 bad ones.
Wow.
And they're averaging 4.9 stars. And
That's pretty good.
that is 100% automated.
And all you did was connect.
So your answer to that customer is no, you don't need to put a voucher in the box. Actually, what you'll do is we'll automate it through email.
Yeah, and then they pay me $2.99 every month.
Yeah.
So Wayne, one quick question here. So when we connect to Shopify, can we do it by product or just at a store level?
Just at the store level.
Okay, because there was one customer who was asking me if we can collect reviews by product. because Shopify encourages reviews by products?
You may be able to. I haven't had a good look for a while, Venkat, but I will have a deeper dive.
Yeah.
You might be able to do that. But again, it's creating a different link every time. But the reviews then would go to Shopify, not Google, I don't think.
Hmm. Yeah, it won't go to Google then. It should go to Shopify.
It'll just be internal then. There could
Yeah.
be a way to do it, by all means.
Yeah.
What about the incentive thing? I mean,
Yeah, look, you could do
the,
the incentive thing. It wouldn't hurt for them to put a QR code and 5% off your next order in there as well. It wouldn't hurt.
but how would you? Is that possible? So can you have Climbo talk to Shopify and say, by the way, this one clicked because it obviously has the trigger for click a review because it's got the 3-day and the 7-day delay thing only if they haven't clicked, right? So
Yeah.
Climbo must know that they have or they
Yeah.
haven't clicked. So
It-
if they have clicked, then to tell Shopify, oh, by the way, this customer is eligible for a
Or,
10%
look,
discount.
in that case, you'd be over complicating it. To be honest, it's going to
Okay.
cost you a fortune in triggers and automations. You're better off just to have the voucher in the box,
Yeah.
and
And then the
then
incentive.
the incentive is scan the QR code to
Yeah.
get 5% off your next order. Here's the unique code for your next order. I mean, you can't prove they did or didn't, so that's the tough one.
So you'd need a unique code for every voucher.
Yeah, but they're going to get more reviews regardless. So yeah, I wouldn't overthink it in that. So you say, look, we can get you more reviews, and like, there is a white label case study in school on this client for Shopify.
What are they called again? Salty shreds, right?
Yep. And I've got a few white label ones in there for the concreter and ones like that as well. I'll probably need to update them because they've changed massively since I did them. So I might do that over Easter. But yeah, I try to automate as much. So if they're a hospitality business, it's driven by NFCs, QR codes, all that. If it's a service-based business, anything like that, it's driven by automation. And automation is where you'll level up your revenue. Because how many customers are you seeing a month? How many triggers are we going to look at? So Sultry Shreds, if you go back through some of my videos when I've talked about them at first, on their free trial, when we started with them, they had 42 reviews, right? Day one. 30-day free trial, we got them to 88 reviews.
Wow.
And I had no idea how busy they were. So it blew out my Zapier account because we had Zapier back then. So I've had to upgrade on a free trial. I had to upgrade my Zapier. And then I've sat there with her. She goes, well, it didn't work. I went, how did it not work? We doubled your reviews. And she's like, we got all them. I went, well, I'll be interested to see how you got them all when in 4 years you've only managed to get 42. So I did. I went through the analytics and said, this is how many we sent, this is how many clicks we got, and this is how many reviews we got you. So look, you know what? I'm just going to cancel the free trial now. Best of luck, and we'll see you in the future. She's like, no. But no. And I went, well, it's not going to be $1.99 a month now. It needs to be at least $2.99 a month because you're hard work. And they've been with me now 2022, 23, 24, yeah, 4 years. So 2021, I think they came on. And we're with Wombop for 2 years, and then 2023 we swapped platforms. So yeah, we don't hear from them. They just pay the bill every month. And she hasn't even connected Google properly yet. She doesn't use a reply with AR or anything. So that's how powerful it is. So I've got some questions here. George asked, will I use DropSas in my future business? Yeah, I will be, but it'll be a different marketing plan. It'll be more targeted around franchises and multi-location businesses. Matt, you're welcome. Yeah, probably set up a coupon code and send the customers who left a review. Yeah, it's hard to track with the review unless you got a trigger from Google. you could maybe do a trigger from Google with Zapier or Elbato to go left a review, and then a secondary trigger to send an email out with a coupon code. You could possibly do that. That goes back to your question, Dominic. You could possibly do that. Yeah, it's a tough one, but the main driver of what we do is we get them 40 up to 47%, 50% more reviews than what they're currently getting.
Yeah.
We talk to them
And
about the impact of those reviews. Yes, Venkat?
yeah, yeah. And one thing to observe is incentivizing for Google reviews is against terms. So I
Yep.
want that to be a
Mhm.
little cautious, because if Google finds out that people are incentivizing for Google reviews, they can ban the account.
Yeah, they'll suspend their profile.
Yep.
Yep. So you can incentivize staff to get reviews.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You can do that and reverse engineer it that way. George asked, do I foresee drops as being an extremely very look at the moment? Yeah, but I do need George to be honest. In transparency, I need to have a good play with it, get it set up, and test it out to see. But in my humble opinion, at the moment, I do see it being a valuable tool as a secondary offering and a secondary product. To be honest, and I don't mind the revenue share with Climbo at all. Now that's good. They need to make more money as well. Otherwise, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah, but the more you can, if you've watched any of my videos, guys, you've always heard me bang on about set them up for success. So if it needs to be automated, I set up the automation. Right? If it needs these for a free trial, I set them all up. Because
Yep.
my conversion rate when they're set up really well is incredibly high. It's in the 90s. It's in the high 90s.
Hmm.
Right?
And yeah, and you said earlier in one of the calls that you will record a video for automation. So can you
Yeah, I've
please?
done a few.
Yeah,
There is a few on my YouTube channel as well.
sure.
Oh, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm not very active on it, but I've put a lot of videos on there. So, but
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, just look for quick reviews, and you'll find it, and or my name. But yeah, I will sit down, but I wanted to make because there's so many different automations we can do. But where people get confused is connecting the different softwares. But what you need to understand is the automation setup is exactly the same, really. It's about the trigger, watch the trigger. So if it's Shopify, you connect Shopify with the token, do all that. Then once you've got that connection, it's okay. We've got on the triggers a customer's purchase has been fulfilled, for example, it's been shipped. Once it's been shipped, we want to grab that information, put it into a holding pattern for 7, 10, whatever shipping days we allow. And then once that 15 days or 10 days has been reached, it'll send that name and email to Climbo. Or it could be a direct one going, yep, once that's done there, we want them to go out and get a review. So I've got one set up with a Google Sheet, and all I did was create the Google Sheet, shared the link with that client, and every day at the end of their a tour guide sort of business, and every day at the end of the day, they just copy paste all their clients onto that Google Sheet, and it waits till 6 p.m. and then sends out the text. Right. I did do a video ages ago, a simple one for let's say you're dealing with a restaurant and you say, are you collecting any data at the moment? No. If I could show you a way we can not only get you more reviews, but collect data, you can repurpose them for marketing. So how often do you do dining events or special chef events or wine tasting things? They're like, yeah, well, how do you let your customers know? So if we could set you up a marketing automation as well, where they scan the QR code to become a VIP or get on the VIP list, they're like, wow, so that goes to a Google Sheet. Google Sheet pushes to Climbo, and then it pushes to MailerLite. Then they've got a MailerLite account, and they can do email templates and invite clients out to special events. That's how you upsell. Would you rather have, 100 clients at $500 a year or 100 clients at $199 a month? or a combination. I've got a combination of all the above. I've got 500 a year plan. I've got 199, 299, 399 a month. My 500 a year is that small little independent coffee shop, and I sell them just for cash flow. Just $500 a year. Got it. Here's a sign up link. Pay your money. We give you all these and set you up, and you get everything you need. Remember, there's no additional cost to me apart from these to get them set up. So you sell 3 or 4 of them a week, which are easy sales to get. There's your 1,500, $2,000. And then your service-based businesses and your Shopify stores is where your big money is. So if you've got I've got a windscreen repair guy. He just does windscreen replacement, windscreen repair. He's a software over here called Service Mate. So we connected his Service Mate to Climbo. When they mark the job complete, the customer gets a text. How did we do today? And again, Mark, we took from 73 reviews. He's at nearly 200 now. He pays me $328 every single month because we post into his profile every now and then for him as well. Because we solved his problem. He knows he's up against some big franchise groups, but he's dominating in the because we specialise on local marketing. Remember, especially those independent shops. We can get you more visual locally and more responses locally. Because if you're a coffee shop, what's your range? What's your service range? 2 mile, 3 mile, maybe. How far would you drive for a good coffee?
Over here in Washington State, dude, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a coffee shop.
Yep. And and so the market there is, do you want exclusivity? How'd you be like the only coffee shop, one of these in a half a mile radius or a mile radius? I'm looking for one coffee shop. Do you want to be the coffee shop standing out, or do you want your guy down the street to be that guy? I've done exclusive deals before. Do you want to be the only one of these types of business in that range that got the Google software? Okay, so you can get our 500 a year pack, or you can get our hypothetically $90 a month pack and have exclusivity. So so many ways to skin the cat, but again, it comes down to numbers. If you're not seeing anybody, you're not selling anybody. Now, I know in Washington State, come winter, it's freezing. Facebook messaging is
I'll have to look into that.
That's where your marketing changes, because you don't want to go out where it's fucking minus degrees and your eyebrows are going to freeze and do all that sort of stuff. But that's when you flip your marketing and have your messaging on point and test it throughout the year. Don't send the same message over and over again. Tweak it a little bit every time. Just a tiny bit, a line, because Facebook will flag the message. And if you did, let's say in your downtime, let's say you picked cafes Monday, right? On Monday, same message, 5 cafes. Tuesdays could be bakeries. 5 bakeries Tuesday, same message. And all of a sudden you're doing that, you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 calls you've done virtually in a week, and you might get 3 free trials. Or people go, yeah, bugger it, just set me up.
Yeah, check that out.
I did a reach out yesterday. I just saw a Facebook post come up with a new business, which is, I don't know, probably 2-3 mile, maybe 2 mile, because I'm trying to convert to kilometres. 2 mile from us. And I went, I've never heard of this business. So I just messaged him. And I messaged him about the payment gateway stuff and went, hey guys, basically what I said before. They went, yeah, send me an info pack straight away. A small PDF document straight through Facebook Messenger, done. And I'll follow them up later today. Hey, did you get that document okay? So with the cafe, like I I've got the different case studies. They are in school in the classroom area. So if you look into cafes, I will update the case studies with current numbers. But would you like to see the case study on our results we've got for cafes? Free PDF.
Yeah.
And breaks down exactly what they had, where they are, everything. And they go, wow, that's great growth, and we can show you that growth too. It's a soft in. It's a free case study. Have a look at what we've done for other cafes in the area.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in the area. You just say, well, it's our partner in Australia. That's what the software's done for them. Or just change the names to protect the innocent. But they're not badged as quick reviews, none of them. They're white label.
Okay.
So you can repurpose them in that respect. Okay, any other questions, guys, as we're coming up upon the hour? Any other questions?
If I have any questions, I will definitely reach out and shoot you a message.
Just message me in school. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm active in there. It's always on. Okay, Dominic, any more questions from you?
No, I think I'm stolen enough from you today. Thanks.
No, you're right, buddy.
Appreciate
No,
it.
that's not a problem in the world. Give me 1 second. Van Cat, always good to have you on the call.
But, that thing you said, so you said 25 Facebook messages a week, and you'd expect to get 3 or 4 trials out of that.
Yep.
Is that realistic?
Yep. Yeah, I know every time I cold call, if I cold call and get to speak to 25 people, I'll get 3 or 4 trials, if not more. And again, just tweaking your messaging a little bit, making sure you got the right messaging. One of the ones I did in the past, I haven't done it for a long time, but it did work very well, was, grabbed a screenshot of a bad review and you read it, mate, and I would say, look, hey, just notice you got this review up. Do you think that was a fair review? No. If I could show you a way we can minimize those type of reviews hitting Google, would you be open to have a look at it? And you could even, if you think they're keen enough, set up a mock account, right? Set up a quick account, use the public access part for Google, and send them their own review link. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it. If you've got downtime, right? This still doesn't take long to set up a business. It's a couple of minutes to set them up. I know if I've got what I think is going to be a very good prospect, I've got these. I'll quickly program on up to their business.
I've done that too.
Yeah, and they're like, "Wow, that's my brand." And that's it. It's and essentially what we call the puppy dog close. What's the best way to sell a puppy dog? Give it to the family for a week. They won't. 9 times out of 10, they don't want to give it back because it's too cute. Wait 2 years, they might have buyer's remorse. But it's things like that. But again, it's set them up for success. Don't half-ass a free trial. Because I've seen so many people going, "Oh, I did what you did," and they didn't go ahead. Well, how many of these or how many QR codes did you give them? 1. Well, you're not going to get results.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you.
Marco had a question for you in the chat.
Sorry?
Marco had a question for you in the chat.
Okay, here we go. No, it's not unethical. So, Marco, how I address the gating, I don't call it gating, firstly. It's what we do. We have the opportunity to internalize negative feedback to give you, the business owner, the chance to make that customer happy. Now, if that customer is truly pissed off, they're going to go to Google anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're a Karen, you're not going to stop them. But what we're trying to do is give you the opportunity first to look at that. It's great for your business owner because you might have a whole, we have one of our surf clubs up the road. They had a new chef come in and he just stuffed everything up, right? We gated internalized, correct wording, internalized 180 negative feedbacks. The marketing manager rang me and said, mate, I can't thank you enough. You've saved our ass. We've obviously read all that negative feedback. He's gone. We've changed chefs. It just saved our ass. Now, that marketing manager's since left and works for a bigger company now, and we've just signed a deal with them for 40 locations.
Wow.
So, but so now, Marco, firstly, I'll come to you, Tim, in a second. Did that help answer your question, Marco? So, Marco, my full range of services is in the software. I just basically will offer Google profile optimization, the software, obviously. And occasionally, if they're a really busy business, we'll jump in and reply to their reviews for them and stuff like that. But that's all I do in the review software, but I also do the payment gateways. We do website design and graphic design, but we've steered away from that because they're just hard work. But they're mainly my two products. It's basically the reviews, optimizing the profile, and obviously responding to some of the reviews for them if they're busy. And again, I'll sit there, their coffee in the morning, go to one of the clients I know we help out with that, click to their profile, go, here's a couple there, reply. It's not hard. Not when you get paid every month for doing it.
Is there a strategy to that? Somebody once was talking about if you have long answers, that actually Google is searching for the long answers.
Yeah. So if it's a big review, I do a big reply.
Same.
If it's a small review, I just do the mid-range reply. Going, hey, so glad you had a great time. Really glad you're happy with the pizza. And again, pizza's now a keyword, and that's how we look at it.
Yeah, whenever I'm replying to some of my client or for some of my clients, I try and sprinkle in a few more keywords, whether it's a plumber, electrician, or something like that. I try to make it if they get like a 5-star review, I try to make it like what I tell them, like a 5-star reply, which is I'll try and include the service, the customer's recommendation, the customer's experience, the location, like the city, and name someone. If I tell my clients, like, if you plant those seeds in your customer's mind and they leave that in a review, like that's all the stuff that Google wants to see.
Yep.
That's considered like a high quality review.
Yep, it's 100%. And I say, look, we try to double down on your keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So keyword is best pizza near me. That's a keyword search. So if we can get you another 40 reviews saying best pizza in town, or best pizza in Chicago, or best pizza in Philly, or best pizza wherever, now you're going to dominate
Best
that.
ever pizza. Best pizza ever.
Yeah, things like that. But yeah, look, and I never tell people we can stop negative reviews. I say we can minimize them. So I never say we can stop them because we can't.
Right.
I say the minute.
I mean, even on the form, on the private feedback form, they still leave a public review. It's really teeny, but it's still there.
Yeah, and we
It's
do
still
that. We do that to be compliant.
Of course.
Be compliant with Google. And I say, look, if they want to click that button, if they had a really bad experience, they're probably going to go there anyway. Right. But what we try to do is minimize that damage as best we can. Okay, so those little, they just had that little niggly experience. You'll get to fix it. It doesn't go public, protects your brand, protects your ranking, protects everything like that. But look, once they've left this environment, we can't control it, especially in hospitality, right? And obviously, if you're getting a slurry of bad reviews, you've actually got an internal problem.
Yeah, you have to use that, and then you can use your reviews to actually make the necessary changes in your business.
Exactly. And that's what we tell them.
I do too.
So, but yeah, we just say, look, what the whole mission here is to drive consistent reviews, good, bad, or indifferent. We try to minimize the bad ones, obviously keep your rating up there high. And you say, look, and with the replies, the client that left that negative review, this is where the power of the software is truly unique, is you as a business owner, if you read that review, you're going to get pissed off. Would that be correct to say? So when you write a response to that, it's going to be highly emotional. Would that be true to say? So what our AI does is that reads that negative review, responds with the perfect tonality, perfect everything, and analytically responds to it. Now you can tweak it and customize it a little bit without a problem in the world. But remember this. So Dominic, you as a business owner, remember this, right? The person that wrote that review will very ever read that reply. But every other future customer will.
Exactly.
So that's why our AI reply is always on point. The customer will read that and go, you know what? That's a fair and reasonable answer. We'll give them a go. Takes all the emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And on good, and we still double down on keywords and everything like that. You know, sorry to hear, you'd had a bad experience with the pizza. Still adding another keyword. But yeah, that's what we do there. But remember that the gold method is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Right? Business owners, it's two things they don't do. Look at their profile. Are they replying to reviews at all? And if they are they half-assed replies? Thanks so much, thanks so much, thanks so much.
That's a good point, which is, yeah.
So I had an Italian restaurant I picked up. They're only on my $500 a year plan. Great Italian restaurant, by the way. Right? If you're ever in Service Paradise, they're a fantastic restaurant. Now, they're 2,500 reviews. Right? Been there a long time. No, we're good for reviews. I said, but I notice you don't respond to any. And they said, yeah, you're right, we need to. I said, well, this is what we can do for you. They pay, pay. And the only thing we do, we connected up a couple of cases and stands. They didn't want cases on every table, and a couple of stands at point of sale, and we just respond to their reviews for them. And they love it. When we go back there for dinner, they look after us, don't they, Nick? Lovely couple. And a busy restaurant. Look, it's a busy restaurant. But yeah, what problems can we solve for that business owner? I notice you're not responding to any reviews. There's a reason why. I don't have time. Do you understand the importance of responding to reviews for the algorithm and obviously future customers? And you bring up a negative one if they got one and go, how would you respond to that? And then quite simply, if you wanted it correctly, if you got ChatGPT on your phone, just go, look, this is similar to how our AI would reply to that review. Copy the review, paste it in a ChatGPT, go respond to this review. They go, wow, that's fantastic. So we do that internally. Or I log in, I've got the app, I've got Climbo on my phone, but it's got it saved as a web browser. Log in, and I demo the platform that way.
Mm-hmm.
Social share, everything. So there's one there, right? That wasn't me, by the way. And I'd just go, okay, reply, and I'd reply to that review, show them how it works. So it works. Okay, guys, we're going to wind this up because we've gone over the mark, and I've got to go sign up a customer. Thanks so much for jumping on the call today, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put that stuff in school over the next couple of days. I'll let you know, and I'll refresh some of those case studies and put them in there with up-to-date data because they're a few years old. And I'll put them into where they are now, but I'll also put them in the main part of school as a post. And always feel free to reach out to me in the school community through Messenger or whatever. And yeah, we might look at doing a couple more of these as we go along.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wayne. I
Thanks,
really appreciate
Wayne. That was great.
Not a problem, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate your time, and we'll connect soon. This will be recorded and posted up as well.
it. All right. Take care, Wayne.
See ya.
Yeah.